My wife Ellie gave me a challenge to go ask other people the same exact question that I asked her. And so now I'm going to go out and find various people of different cultures, different ages, and see what kind of answers they give to the question of what do you think is the most important quality in the opposite sex that leads to a successful and vibrant marriage. But I've already asked a few people the question, and when I've approached them and started asking the question on film, I started to break out in sweat because I realized I'm asking a pretty vulnerable thing.
Why'd you start with me for?
and asking them to be on film for it too, which amazingly, there's been more people willing to do it than not. And what I'm starting to see is a gem that's formulating from all these questions. Even though they're different answers, there's like a single gem. And what I want to do at the end is actually show Ellie all the answers when I finish up, hopefully today. I want to show her all the answers and see if she derives that same gem that I'm starting to see. For now, let's go have an adventure of asking some more people. Well, we are here at an amazingly beautiful park, and we are going to ask some people the question, what is the most important characteristic in a woman for a successful marriage? You gotta take that there. Okay, there you go. Leslie and Pete. Okay, I got a question for you.
Okay.
We'll start with Leslie. You ready?
Sure.
What is the single most important quality in a man for a successful marriage to you? That's a tough question.
Man, why'd you start with me for? Single most important quality.
Or we could skip you if you wanted to.
So, I mean, I've always told him the reason I fell in love with him was because he was funny.
Funny? Yeah, hey.
He made me laugh, and that was always important to me, so. Yeah.
That's awesome. Good job.
Same question?
Yep, same question, but for ladies.
Honesty.
Honesty.
100% honesty.
Oh, that is really good. That is really good. And so I take it you guys are married?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. How long have you guys been married? Oh, cool. 23 years. That's beautiful. Do you guys have any last things you want to say about marriage? Any encouragements for the younger crowds?
Communicate. Lots of communication. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. You guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and God bless you.
Thanks.
Yeah, take care. And it's so cool because a few minutes later I met this wonderful lady, and the most important attribute to her was
communication, and especially communicating his feelings, because that seems to be a big one. Well, I think communication, and I think a lot of men suffer from that.
Okay, so the first two ladies mentioned communication. And as a guy, I'm starting to feel a little conviction right now. Communication, I like that. That's really good. Well, thank you so much for your time. Yeah. That is a beautiful thing right there. And that's a beautiful thing right there, too. And that one, too. Oh, sorry. Okay, well, we have a few more that are willing to answer the question.
Okay, my name is Rispa, and I think the most quality thing in a man is loyalty, and another thing is being supportive to your family. Always be there.
My name is Angelica, and I think the most quality I look at in a man for a successful marriage is somebody who is understanding, and somebody who is loyal and responsible for his family and who knows God.
That's good. I like that. Yeah, that was hers. Who knows God? That's that's pretty important. He has a heart for God. That's cool. Can you say that again? That was so good. That was so good. If you can. That was so good.
Okay. So a man to be maybe not perfect, but to be successful in the family, you need to be God-fearing, or you should know God, lead your family to God. Not necessarily going to church every day, but at least you say a prayer to your family. Because if you depend on your own understanding, sometimes you'll be overwhelmed. So you need to be going to God for seek wisdom, knowledge, instead of depending on your own knowledge. Yeah.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I hope everyone took that in deep because that was really good. Thank you so much. Both of your answers were amazing. So thank you. Your name is?
My name is Mike Pelikov.
Mike Pelikov? Okay.
I think one of the things is I told her I will live for you and you would live for me. And, you know, what makes life beautiful is, you know, just understanding each other. And, you know, life is not about me personally and it's not about her. It's about us. Now that we have kids, it's you know, it kind of strengthens our marriage a little bit stronger because, for example, I would like to buy a nice car. And, you know, buy a nice car and then, you know, struggle to pull a payment and then you see the family struggling. So this is the, you know, the experience that I've been going through life. You know, in a marriage, it's not about me, it's not about her, but I will do everything to make my life easier for her. And she'll make everything to make my life easier as well.
Yeah.
So she always supports me and I support her as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things.
That's good. So you serve each other basically. Yeah. Awesome. I like that. That's really good. And it looks like your kids are happy. They just ran by and looks like your wife's happy. So good job, Mike.
Thank you.
It's Mike, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, good job. Thank you so much for answering the question.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Take care and God bless. Yeah. All right. We're going for some older generations now to ask the question. And part of the benefit of an agrarian lifestyle is you actually get multi-generation sometimes on the same farm. So I'm going to go ask my parents and see what they have to say in the answer to the question. Thanks, Avi, for driving. Okay, here they are. Hi. All right. All right, so this is my parents, everybody, and I'm going to ask them the question. This is kind of some low-hanging fruit for me because they're right here, and I can ask them. So, but how long have you guys been married?
52 years.
Yes. 52 years. What do you think is the most important quality in a man for a successful marriage?
That he's following the Lord and he keeps God in his life. I think that makes a successful marriage.
That's a good one. You know, Ellie said the same thing, actually, pretty much. So, and then Dad?
What she said, and food. Being honest and being able to talk.
Being honest and being able to talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, guys.
Yep.
All right. Well, that was short but sweet, but you know, sometimes it's nice to not sift through a sea of words just to find a gem. And I almost tripped over my daughter. Okay, bye. All right, so I'm going to go meet up with my friend John right now. He knows I've been going around and asking people this question, but he doesn't know I'm going to ask him. And I'm really interested in what he's going to say because I've known John a long time, over 20 years. I was the best man at his wedding. And, you know, he's just a special guy. And I've seen, if there's one word that I can describe for John, it's actually, I can't do it one word. There's two words of just humble growth. He's grown so much over the years as a man, as a husband. I know his wife would say the same. And I think what he has to say would be really important and really awesome for you guys to hear. So I'm going to surprise him with just putting the camera in front of his face and we'll see what he says. I'm about to bring John his coffee and then I'm going to put the camera in front of him and see what he does. Oh my gosh. I literally just spilled coffee all over myself. All right, John, you ready?
Ready for what?
I'm going to hand you this. What's the most important characteristic? Talking to the mic.
What do I just hold it? Am I supposed to look at you or am I supposed to gaze out into the...
Do whatever you want.
Something that has been a blessing to me has been my wife feeling comfortable enough to tell me when things are not going well. Like, as guys, we can be somewhat oblivious, you know. But, you know, her telling me, hey, I'm not happy about this, kind of like gives me the opportunity to do something about it.
Spur of the moment question. How do you feel that you've grown the most in that 15 years of marriage? Sorry, it's not the question, but the answer was too good to leave out.
I think just letting go of what I want to do. And really what I want to do is not really what's going to bring me the most joy anyway. Like I was talking to somebody else about this the other day. Like, I have such a hard time having a good time if I know my wife has not blessed it. Like she like reluctantly is like, yeah, you can, yeah, whatever, you can go do this, or whatever. And it's like, I'll go. And it's like, this sucks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you just, I don't know. I appreciate and love her. I just want her to be, it sounds silly. I just want her to be happy,
And then our friend Alex came down from his office. Hey, Alex. It's a spur of the moment interview.
It was very, very spur of the moment.
I didn't even tell him. Just like I didn't tell you. Everybody, this is Alex. He's going to be put on the spot, and he's willing to do it. So here we go.
Probably the top 3 things are going to be someone who loves a father, just has a ton of passion for his heart and his kingdom. Someone who's a team player and is willing to build a family together. It's a big one for me. Boy, there's a lot to pick from, but fun would land in the top 3 for sure. So someone who loves to have fun and just, spontaneous. So there you go.
Dude, that's actually a big one that I've gotten from a lot of people is the fun, like the humor in the fun, in marriage. So that's good. Thank you, Alex. That was awesome. Dude. Please give John and Alex a big thank you for letting me invade their space and for answering the question. All right, so this is super awesome. My friends David and Amanda knew that I was asking people this question and that I wanted to ask them this question. They just came over like, we're coming over, we'll help you out, which was a blessing to me. They knew I was running all around. So they came to me and answered the question.
Am I supposed to look at him or you? Or
all of the above. That's totally
all right.
We're just having a go.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Knowing them, which is so awesome because they're so mindful and they have such intentionality to their own marriage and helping other people that they sent me a text and they said, you know what? We want to change our answer, or they want to revise their answer. I'm here with David and Amanda. And they actually had a great idea to turn this into a little bit of a conversation, a back and forth between each other with the question.
After thinking about the question, after we talked a couple nights ago, I woke up in the night and I just thought, I want to change my answer. And I think that for me anyway, so you're looking for something that's almost like, what is like the lead measure? What is something that you could see even further upstream when you're dating or you're getting to know someone that, looking back now after being married 16 years, that I say this is one of those attributes. I'm not going to say it's necessarily, like the number 1, but it's certainly towards the top, right? And it tends to indicate a lot of other things that will follow and also be true. And that attribute is generosity. So on the basic level, right? Like if someone is just generous with their time, with their thoughts, with their intentions, with their perspective, like, it doesn't matter if you have money or not. It doesn't matter what's happening in your life. You can still be generous. And that generosity, perhaps the most potent form of generosity, is the way that you choose to see the person that you're with. Like, there was times when, like, we were early in marriage and didn't really have any money. And, we both have tremendous hearts to give. And I found that it was a very profound time for me to learn that maybe the most important thing I could give was something that was intangible. The Bible talks about taking care of the orphan and the widow, feeding the hungry, clothing the naked. And those are like, at least as it's presented in the word, it's like on the surface level, the physical level. But like, that's the most entry level, right? When you serve on a high level physically, it opens people's hearts to receiving on a much more deep level, right? So when we were not having a whole lot of money and like we have tremendous hearts to give, out of the abundance of the heart, like desiring to give, we just kind of started working on what can we give, right? When you notice something about another person that is praiseworthy, that's something that you want to see grow and flourish, and you acknowledge that, and you encourage that, you're being generous. You're not just being generous with your words, but even the eye to perceive that, I think, is tremendously positive and generous, right? So you can imagine over the course of marriage, like you're going to go through times where things are incredible and you do have tons of stuff to give, right? Emotionally, physically, spiritually, energetically, right? And then you can have times when you're going to be pooped, right? Like I know Amanda, when after we had Naomi, she was exhausted, right? And it's those times when, like, anybody can give when you have tons of resources, whatever those resources are. But when you still choose to find a way to find something of value that you can give, that you can notice, that you can encourage a perspective when someone is worn thin and you still see the best in them and choose to acknowledge that, praise that, and strengthen that. I think that for me is one of those attributes that we could talk about for a very long time, but like it makes all the difference in the world.
It's so interesting that you brought up generosity because I was still formulating through my response of what to look for in a man. And I was reminded about how you generously brought me on this awesome date to see Jordan Peterson live, like front row. And he said that one of the weaknesses, I think is the way that he would be, he'd say it more fancy than that, but one of the weaknesses that a woman has is that she longs to nourish, that in her depths she would desire to nourish. And the weakness that's the strength. But the weakness comes out in even to the point where she might bring a serpent to her breast. And for the man, the weakness, so to speak, right? Like she's welcoming the wisdom of the serpent. Mm-hmm. And for the man, the strength / weakness would be his, basically the worship of the woman, his inability to say no to her. And I thought that was so profound because one of my main things that when I'm talking to young women is you want a man who wants to please God more than he wants to please you. He wants to please God more than he wants to please any other man. And that's important because you can have a man that's super generous to the point where he doesn't say anything when the woman's bringing the serpent into the home. And when you have a man who is fearing God more than fearing others, you have the safety of protection. You have the safety of trusting that when you're talking, he's got the heart of generosity mixed with the guidance of a God who wants to keep us safe. And so he won't lead your family into exhaustion, for example, because he wants to please men and make everybody happy in ministry, or he will say no to certain individuals coming to your home, and so that your children are also safe. I remember one time walking with David at an event, and he just stopped out of nowhere, and I've learned over the years to trust that the Father's showing him things to keep our home safe. And he just stopped and looked, and it was kind of this weird disjointed moment because we were talking with somebody else, and so the other gentleman and I kind of looked at each other like, what's going on? And David just looked over and he looked at me and he just said, you stay away from that person over there and keep our daughter away from that person over there. And sure enough, this person ended up in jail shortly after that. But
I'd never seen the person before.
He had never seen the person before in his life.
The person was maybe 150 feet away. I just froze, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And so when you have a man who fears God, he's going to be spending time with the Lord. He's going to be listening, and he's going to be paying attention to the promptings that are going on. Because I think that one of the roles of a man is provision and protection. And that also speaks to the heart of God for us. And so there's generosity, but then there's also the balance of that perfect space of protection. So the woman really wants to nourish, but the man keeps it safe. And the man also wants to give too. Generosity is important, or she'll never, ever be able to nourish.
Well, it's not true generosity if I am overly concerned about your perception of me.
Correct.
To the point that, it would seem like I'm trying to serve you, but I'm really serving myself. Right? Mm-hmm. I want to be validated, therefore I do things that are maybe against my better judgment, like no. So it is actually a form of generosity to love you in a way that you need to be loved, even though temporarily sometimes I may not get affirmed for that. I might get quite the opposite, right? Yeah. So, the thing about generosity also, I think, is that it really grows over time. Mm-hmm. And, the word talks about like the evil eye right? And the like more charitable eye. And it's really talking about stingy versus generous is one level of interpretation. And when you see with a charitable, generous eye, that perception grows. And I feel like moving forward and looking through our lives so far, that is one area that the more it grows, the more it grows. And I really want that to grow more because it changes your whole life, right? Like what you focus on, you then experience. And that becomes your world. Yeah. So if you're, not that everybody's it's not a zero-sum thing. Like, we don't just be generous 100% of the time. Like we struggle with this, we're humans. But if you're aware of it and you elevate it as a value that you really want to develop and inculcate in yourself, your family, your friendships, it changes everything. And I don't think there's any end to how much that grows. And I think that it's like a really, it's a natural pairing with God being a God of abundance, right? Like there's no amount of abundance that's too much. And we were talking about like if you have an apple and you take one seed from one apple and you plant that seed, it grows a whole tree. And how many apples does that tree grow? A ton every year. And all those apples have a ton of seeds in it. And that's God's kingdom. And I feel like that's also when you see the world through a generous eye and you see your spouse more often than not through that generous perspective. And truth be told, you got to see yourself through that perspective. That's God's perspective towards you. The word says to love your neighbor as yourself. And so if we're not practicing generosity, his generosity and his favorable, way of seeing us, it will necessarily manifest in the way that you see other people. So yeah, that's my answer. Generosity.
Love it.
We could talk about that for a long time, but
oh my goodness,
we'll stop there.
That's you absolutely could.
You get so excited. The more you talk about it, the more you see it, the more you experience it, the more you're like, ooh, yeah, I want more of this.
So I mentioned doing an interview with David's parents, and this is what he had to say about his parents.
You'd think like how I love to say like shocking and sort of off-color things sometimes to just like put people on their back foot. And like, I don't know, contextually, it's just hilarious to say
because you love a spectacle.
Say, right? Yeah. But you would think that I would probably get that from my mom and my mom's side of the family, but then my dad pops off with one and you're like, oh.
Your mom's like...
well, I'm not sure which side.
Yeah, your mom is like expectedly spicy.
Yeah.
But your dad is like, she's unexpectedly...
He's the sleeper.
He's the sleeper for sure.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
On that note, let's go see what David's parents have to say. I got an amazing gem of a couple right here. You guys have been married for how long?
54 years tomorrow.
That is amazing. 54 years tomorrow.
Those are Dan's sisters. That's me, Dan, his parents.
So I'm really honored to be able to ask you guys this question and for you to share it with whoever's willing to hear it. Who's going first?
Yes.
It really, for me, is hard to narrow it down to one specific thing. But I think it all starts with someone that is a seeker of truth. And part of that is because if you're doing that your whole life, you find out that some of the things you thought were right aren't. Some of the things you've been taught aren't necessarily correct. So as you develop that, and if that person develops that, and it's really good to do it together, that leads to the second part of that is someone who will seek to understand the overall picture of Scripture, what God tells us. And there's a lot of people in the world that tell us all kinds of things. We're told that the wife is to be subject to the man, but nobody really talks about the other half of that portion of Scripture where it says that the man is to be willing to lay down his life. In the military, and we're in a foxhole, and a grenade's thrown in there, some guy generally falls on it. Why? Because he doesn't want the rest of his people to get hurt.
Yeah.
And that's a sacrifice that a husband should be able to be willing to do for his wife, not to just order her around all the time. Hey, you go fall on the iron grenade.
Right.
It's something of that. The other thing of understanding Scripture is God says that the two shall become one. So there again, it's a division. The one, if you're part of the one, then that means you're only the half. So if you think you're the whole person in the marriage, it isn't true. That half, you have to work together. Men always look, the first thing they look at is a woman's heart. But we can't be responsible that their boobs are in the way.
I was going to say, you're full.
You can edit that out. Sorry. But anyway.
I might have to leave that, actually.
So, but sense of humor is part of that. If I can get her to laugh at least once a day, I've accomplished a good day. Because we do that.
He makes me laugh all the time. It's a good thing.
And I was talking with Sam the other day, my son. One of the things that we need to understand about us as people in general is we've all got a little crazy in us. And she puts up with my crazy, and I kind of put up with her crazy. And the same way with individuals we come in contact with. Somebody says something that is really, where did that come from? I just got to rack it up to, no, that's part of maybe they're crazy. I got to give them some slack because they got to give me some slack. Love may start out as emotion, but it is not an emotion. It is a covenant. The understanding of that agreement that you come to. And if you understand that in the background, that's what it is, what your emotions or what you're feeling at the time, or the anger, or the whatever is going on there, that's what love is. It's that covenant. And that's why God shows us that when he made the covenant with Israel, when he makes the new covenant, which is basically the same old one, but with a life in us, not just something that we do. So
I'd say that the characteristic or the character quality that matters the most is kindness, because kindness, having a kind heart, it's invaluable. It wears well. You want to make it 54 years? You better marry a kind person. And kindness to me encompasses compassion and patience and having a good mindset toward other people as well as yourself. You can't judge a guy by how he treats you, really, especially early on in a relationship when he's trying to impress you. You got to watch, how do they treat the waitress that's waiting on you for dinner, and every other person that you come across. And don't write off any evidence of a meanness that you might observe, because they will eventually, you'll have a bad day and they may treat you that way, and that's just not going to wear well. I mean, people make mistakes, but how are you going to handle that? And meanness to me is just the antithesis of love. But a person has a general setting inside their heart of how selfish or how mean they are, or conversely, how kind and compassionate they are. Kind men have a gentleness about them that's not a weakness. It is not a weakness. But they, there is such a thing as tough love. But that doesn't mean that they aren't kind, and you have to use tough love on each other and on your children. But boy, if they're coming from a place of kindness and have a good and pure heart that way, it softens everything, and you can trust it. You know that their intentions toward you are good, and you have to know that. You have to know that. That's your security is there. That even if they are saying, hey, you need to straighten up on this, or the other, that they're coming from a place of love, and they're going to speak it to you speak the truth in love. So there's some kindness involved there. And my husband looks tough, and, he used to be a cop, and, he's a football coach. He's done lots of things where you have to get out there and be tough and be firm and yell and whatever you have to do, but he has the kindest heart.
It helps if you find somebody really smart and good looking too.
Oh, yeah.
That really helps.
I did.
Oh.
Smarty. I was going to say too, along the lines of what he said about covenant, I think that was really good, Dan. It was really good, yeah. And I I would like to say that what came in second for me was you got to find a person that has the personal character strength that they are going to keep their commitment. Mm-hmm. Because if you keep your vows will keep you together. But they've got to be a person capable of commitment. And that's becoming a rare commodity.
Oh, so many gems. Thank you, guys. That's some words of wisdom for sure. Well, thank you so much. You know what? This is so cool because what turned out to like start out as like asking random people, and we're definitely finding gems with the random people as well. But I feel like I'm kind of more like on a treasure hunt now, which is really fun. So we're here with my friends Tad and Allison, and they are an amazing couple, and they have an amazing story as well. And actually, Allison wrote the book that my wife just illustrated, so that's pretty fun. But I was able to catch these guys, and I really wanted to ask them the question that I've been asking people. Tad, what is, for you, the most important quality in a woman that leads to a successful, healthy marriage?
The answer to that question has evolved over time, for sure. And after 26 years of 25 years of marriage and 26 years of being together, we just had that conversation this morning. And I think for us, when things were rough, when I was not being a good guy, the thing that made the big turnaround for me was her honesty with me. And her being upfront and just no nonsense. When she stopped trying to figure out what it was that I wanted and her trying to figure out how she can get what she needs from me. And she was just honest with me. That made the difference.
All right, ladies, are you listening? There's multiple guys saying something very similar.
And she wasn't mean about it. She was honest, and she was kind, and she was sincere, and she was firm. And that really helps me to decide what steps I need to take to provide, to protect, to do what I need to do to change and evolve myself to better serve her.
That's pretty wise, and I think only a humble man could invite that kind of honesty. But that's true. I mean, what our wives say matter. Allison, are you ready?
I'm ready. If I had to narrow it down to one thing, I would say a commitment to living out God's design for a relationship, which is love. And we've been reading the 1 Corinthians 13 every day now for about 2.5 years now. And it has been transformational. Because if we are in a relationship and we say we love each other, well, what is love? You know, we got to know what love is. It's patient, it's kind, it's not self-seeking, it's not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrongs, all these things that are essential for a healthy relationship. So if we can just get that one thing down, we're doing pretty good. Because that one thing is packed full of a lot of things. But it's very simple. I mean, really, it's simple.
I like that. That's it's simple, but there's a lot to unpack there. And something I'm thinking of is a lot of people, they make a list, especially, speaking to some of the people that aren't married yet, and they think like, oh, what kind of person do I need? And they start formulating a list, and some of those things are maybe superficial on the list or whatever, but right there, like the best list would probably be 1 Corinthians 13, just to read that and be like, oh, that's my list. And it's a huge difference between God's love and what the world sees as love. Do you guys have any other encouragements to the people out there, maybe not yet married or newly married? You have anything on your heart you'd like to share?
Take your time. Don't expect perfection right away. When you're jumping into a relationship, no matter how many books or courses or counseling sessions you went through, once you make that commitment and start living together, you're discovering a whole new person, both of you. And you're changing, your partner's changing, and you need to have that softness of heart to go with the flow and allow, and especially if there's hard things that come out, give it time to work through, give it a season to work through. Give your partner the patience and the grace to work through their own difficulty and their own sin, to work on their sanctification. For newly married couples, don't be surprised when your partner blows it, and then give it time.
I really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll get some more time to maybe share a little bit more about your story and your journey. So thanks. Awesome. Thank you. Success! Well, this is the moment. Ellie has watched everyone's responses, and now I get to ask her if she found a gem out of all of those responses. And doesn't have, no pressure, it doesn't have to be the same, but I'm just kind of curious if it is the same. So how about we switch? You take that and I'll take this. Or I'll just...
Wait, that can't be. I guess the one word that kept coming to my mind as I was watching the videos or the interviews was there's a selflessness. And then also a lot of the things that were mentioned were characters of God. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting to see that, you know, it says in the Bible that God is love. So therefore it makes perfect sense that the love or the thing that keeps a marriage successful and vibrant is the characters of God, really. I don't know how else to put it. Yep. So that's what popped out for me. Also, I just have to say that I cried a lot watching the videos just because there was a lot of humility in the answers. So yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was really neat. And it brought me to tears.
Well, okay, I do the swap here. Here you go. Our little boy is happy with his
fennel.
Bit of fennel there. That's so funny. That is amazing because that's exactly what I came to a conclusion of as well. I just said fruit of the Spirit, you know, a lot of it, you know, and it's so cool because a lot of times, like when people are single or even newly married, it's like they've had this list. And sometimes the list is kind of based on like these superficial things, or, you know, as you get older, you start to realize that those superficial things aren't nearly as important to have a happy and successful marriage. So it's so cool to hear that from, I think, 100% of everybody, you know, had some sort of characteristic of God or fruit of the Spirit, you know, or something that was so much deeper than just a superficial quality. And so the other thing I thought was really cool was the next video that I want to do. I didn't really know how it tied in, but as I started asking people this question and getting all these answers, I started realizing that the next video that I'm going to do ties in so much. And it's because the next video that I want to do is how to have fruit in our lives, how to get the fruit of the Spirit, you know, and it's kind of foundational. If there's anybody out there that they were watching and they see these characteristics of like people talking about kindness or whatever, and you're kind of getting down on yourself like, oh man, I don't have kindness. There's so much hope because it's God that changes us in the end, really. And it's by His Spirit that we are changed. And if you go and read John chapter 15, you'll have an idea of what the next video is about. So I'm going to be really working hard on that as well.
Man, I feel like this is such an awesome video for somebody like myself, like before I was married. I think this is such a good thing to get it out. I'm promoting Clint's video in Clint's video.
Thank you guys so much for going on this adventure with me, and be on the lookout for more videos. I'm still growing in my faith as well, so there's definitely some more adventures to be had. And be sure to leave any comments or questions or ideas that you guys might have as well. So we'll see you on the next video, which is absolutely relevant. Like I said, it's so good. So thank you guys, and we'll see you soon, hopefully. God bless.